Micron just announced that will invest $100 billion to build a new semiconductor factory. The construction and development will take place over the next 20 years. The new semiconductor chip factory will be located in upstate New York. The announcement by New York State officials came just yesterday. This year, the U.S. Congress passed the CHIPS and Science Act of 2022. This act provides federal funding for semiconductor manufacturing facilities to be built in the United States. The new law appropriates $52 billion to subsidize new semiconductor production fabs in the U.S. What does it mean for semiconductor companies? What does it mean for electronic products? What does it mean for consumers? What does it mean for the U.S. economy? And, what does it mean for the future of the United States? But, before we get into all of that, please hit the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of future videos when they are released. The risks in reliance on foreign computer chip production became clear during the pandemic, as supply chain issues impacted a wide range of goods, said President Joe Biden. Micron plans to invest $100 billion over in the chip plant over the next 20 years. Micron is building a new computer chip factory in upstate New York, New York State officials said in a press release on Tuesday. The New York Times first broke the news of the new chip plant on Tuesday. The announcement comes just after Congress passed the CHIPS and Science Act of 2022. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York spearheaded the effort to pass the new law. The new federal act allocates $52 billion to build new semiconductor chip factories in the United States. This investment would not be possible without the new law, said Micron CEO Sanjay Mehrotra. Micron stock rose 4.5% on news of the new semiconductor factory. The risks in the U.S. reliance on foreign computer chip production became clear during the pandemic, as supply chain issues impacted a wide range of goods, said U.S. President Joe Biden. Semiconductors are used practically everything these days. That includes basically every internet-connected device, mobile phones, cars and medical devices. The CHIPS Act touched off a wave of new investments by many semiconductor companies. That includes Micron, Intel, Texas Instruments, and even Taiwan Semiconductor, which is not even based in the United States. Prior to passage of the new law, Micron promised to invest at least $40 billion and create at least 40,000 new jobs in the United States. Qualcomm also announced the purchase of $4.2 billion worth of semiconductor chips from the GlobalFoundries factory in New York. Intel announced plans to invest up to $100 billion in a semiconductor fab in Ohio and has already started construction. Schumer, of course, is delighted that upstate New York was chosen as the site of the new Micron factory. He has led the charge for many new manufacturing facilities to be built in his home state. This investment is transformative for not only upstate New York but also for America, Schumer said in a phone interview. We are going to regain the lead in manufacturing, probably the most important commodity or product for the 21st century, Schumer continued. I had upstate New York in mind 3 years ago when designing the first iteration of what became the CHIPS and Science Act, Schumer also noted. This sort of project was a dream of mine and now it has come true, Schumer continued. Schumer said the upstate New York region has 4 essential ingredients: water, power, space, and labor. Those key, essential ingredients make upstate New York an attractive location for manufacturing semiconductors. Schumer said that he called Micron CEO 50 times while lobbying during the process and finalizing the bill. I said, now don't forget upstate New York, Schumer recalled. The majority leader is not done advocating for chip manufacturing in the area. GlobalFoundries, another semiconductor manufacturer, is planning to invest in another fab in New York State. Manufacturer Wolfspeed is also planning a major investment. We'd like to become the chip fab center of manufacturing in the country, Schumer said. The performance-based incentive package from the state is valued at $5.5 billion and is tied to Micron's commitment to create 9,000 new jobs, said New York Governor Kathy Hochul. The new semiconductor chip plant will be located in the city of Clay, which is near Syracuse. An economic impact study by Regional Economic Models found the project will create an average of nearly 50,000 jobs, according to a press release from Hochul's office. It also estimated it would generate an additional $16.7 billion in real, inflation-adjusted, economic output for the state, the report also said. Micron, an American company, is investing $20 billion this decade and up to $100 billion over 20 years in chips manufacturing in upstate New York, President Biden said in a statement from the White House. This will create tens of thousands of good-paying jobs, Biden continued. Together, we are building an economy from the bottom up and the middle out, where we lower costs for our families and make it right here in America, Biden also noted. If not for the passage of the CHIPS and Science Act, semiconductor manufacturers would have taken their plants overseas, according to Schumer. We saw something that could have been an emergency and we dealt with it in a very good bipartisan way, Schumer said. The world can't run without chips, Schumer added. And if we let a foreign power be in charge of manufacturing, they could sink our economy any time they want, Schumer also noted. But the announcement comes at a time when the semiconductor business is rocky. Intel reported a massive revenue and earnings miss last week. They blamed macroeconomic conditions. Nvidia missed their revenue target by over $1 billion and their earnings target by 55%. AMD reported disappointing earnings as well. Micron reported negative free cash flow and warned of a challenging market ahead. The real problem is a lack of what are called commodity chips. In other words, there is a shortage of cheap semiconductor chips. But there is a surplus of expensive semiconductor chips. Cheap semiconductor chips are typically used in household appliances, cars, and other smaller items with minimal computational requirements. These cheap semiconductor chips cost anywhere from about 50 cents to about $5. Cheap semiconductor chips are manufactured using technologies and production facilities that are 20 to 25 years old. Cheap semiconductor chips are still an important part of every semiconductor company's business. But, as you might imagine, most semiconductor manufacturers make little profit on these older product lines. Many semiconductor companies would like their customers to move to more advanced technology and buy more expensive chips. This would enable them to shut down their older and less profitable manufacturing lines. The most advanced semiconductor chips cost hundreds of dollars each. AMD Ryzen 9 has a list price of $699. Intel Core i9 costs $549. The NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 Ti is priced at $700, for example. Marginal profitability of older lines is not the only problem with cheap semiconductor chips. Semiconductor chips that cost only a few dollars or even pennies can disrupt the manufacturing of a $50,000 car, for example. The worldwide automotive industry generated $2.86 trillion in revenue in 2021. Each and every car uses hundreds of chips these days. And that number will increase to over 1,500 as self-driving vehicles make their debut. That will increase dependence of the automotive industry on chip supply in the semiconductor industry. Home appliance manufacturers also suffer from the undersupply of cheap semiconductor chips. But, what do you think? Please leave a comment below and hit the like button. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Please share this video on social media. Thank you for watching.